Hey guys, it's CryptoXD here with another video, and today I'm excited to share with you some strategy. In fact, this is one of the most exciting strategy that I came up with using my Einstein brain. Alright, and I did a lot of calculations here as well to show you exactly how you can calculate your airdrop allocation and how profitable this strategy would be. Alright, so be sure to pay close attention to this video. Right, because I'm not going to share it anywhere else, and only you will be hearing from me. Alright, so this strategy involves using Aevo and Hyperliquid, which are two trading platforms as you can see here. So this is Aevo and this is Hyperliquid. Alright, and there is cost involved in this strategy. I want to be very transparent. Alright, I think it's very important to talk about the cost involved in this strategy, as well as the amount of funds you need to allocate to execute this strategy to make more than $2,000 reward. And I can assure you, if you follow this strategy, if you hit the allocated targets and volume, you would get a guaranteed more than $2,000+ airdrop. Alright, if not, I will compensate you this amount. Okay, but alright, this is the most important thing. You got to be able to allocate this amount, at least $250 for Aevo and $250 for Hyperliquid. Alright, these are going to be the costs if you want to use this strategy. Alright, and what cost is this that we are talking about? We are talking about transaction fees. Alright, because performing trades on Aevo and Hyperliquid is going to cost you transaction fees. Alright, and you do have to allocate at least 1,000 in capital, preferably 2,000 should be enough. Alright, on each platform to allocate this strategy. Okay, and you might need to rebalance your amount, alright, in both of these platforms. Okay, so that one will cost you a little bit more in fees, but it's not going to be very significant in terms of the amount of airdrops that you'll be receiving. Alright, so let's dive into the strategy. Okay, but before that, you want to talk about the confirmed airdrop that will be happening. Alright, how do I know that Aevo and Hyperliquid will be airdropping tokens to users, and how do I know how much you'll be receiving exactly? Okay, so let's talk about the Aevo Farming program, and this one, is just on 1st February, right? It just came out on 1st February, where they talk about, Aevo is not going to introduce a point system. Okay, over here it states that all users of Aevo up to this point who have done volume will be eligible for Aevo airdrop. Alright, so there will be no point system at all. Okay, no point system bullshit. I know a lot of you are farming points and stuff like that. The worst part about farming points is the project that you are farming, they don't have a clear roadmap on when they are going to launch their tokens. And that's going to be a disaster, because you're going to lock up your funds in these platforms and not knowing, when can you get your return back. Alright, so a lot of these projects are actually farming users. But Aevo is very transparent. Alright, they talk about not having a point system. They talk about their upcoming airdrop, alright, system, which you can see on their page. Alright, it's not out yet. Okay, it's not out yet, but it will be out very soon. Expect this to be out within the next 1 or 2 weeks. Alright, where you can see the exact allocation that you'll be receiving in terms of the Aevo tokens. Alright, so this is very important, okay, because even though you are farming it now, alright, you are still, even though the dashboard is not out yet, you are still getting Aevo tokens. Alright, it states here clearly. And your tokens are also amplified. Alright, so I think what's very important now is that if you do want to use this strategy, you've got to start immediately. Okay, because once the farming program starts, your pre-farming, you can't do the pre-farming anymore. Alright, this is the current farming program that is coming. So early users do get a boost. Alright, if you read the whole article here, the early boosters do get a boost from farming Aevo before this event launches in a couple of days. Okay, so if you do this now, I think your allocation for Aevo tokens would be higher. Alright, so that's the first thing I want to talk about. The second thing that I want to talk about is Hyperliquid. Okay, so Hyperliquid, before we talk about the fees, right, I talk about the points first. So if you look at the points, it states here that 1 million points will be allocated to Hyperliquid users per week for 6 months. Alright, so we all hate the point system. Okay, but this point system is pretty good because it's very, very transparent. Every week they are just distributing 1 million points, and they are distributing for 6 months. That means a total of 26 million points. Okay, so we know exactly how many points is being distributed. We can calculate exactly how many tokens they will be airdropping and how much would the airdrop tokens be worth. Alright, that's the most important part, because they are very, very transparent here. So this point system works. Okay, if the point system doesn't have an exact date or deadline for it, then the point system doesn't work, because the point system can be infinite. They can farm users for 1 year, 2 years, 3 years without telling you. But this one is very clear, 6 months. Alright, and this farming will end on April. Okay, so you've got to be fast and quick. Alright, now we are already in February. Alright, so once we are down to these two, you know that both of these projects have confirmed airdrops. Okay, we are going to talk about the strategy. Alright, and this is my strategy. Okay, so we are going to analyze both projects and do a comparison as well. Alright, because we know that AEVO right now, they already have tokens. Okay, based on history, Ribbon Finance, which rebranded to AEVO, has shown generosity when it comes to airdrops. So huge potential for huge gains. Alright, and previously we know that they airdropped 20,000 to users who sent just 5 Discord messages, okay, in their group chat. Alright, so now if we look at the Ribbon Finance valuation, alright, Ribbon Finance will be rebranded to AEVO. And right now they are sitting at a 400 and almost 450 million market cap. And currently, alright, only about 50% of their tokens are in circulation. Could they airdrop 10-20% to their users? Sure, why not? Right, within the next few months, we can expect that from AEVO. Okay, so this is very important to note as well. Alright, then now if we go back to the analysis spreadsheet. Okay, for Hyperliquid, Hyperliquid, we know that they have no VCs or investors involved, and they are focused on community. Alright, but we know also that they are being followed by Paradigm. So Paradigm is a very huge VC that is observing Hyperliquid, because right now they have generated close to 5% of Binance perpetual trading volume for Ethereum. Okay, that's how impressive they are. They have generated a huge trading volume. Alright, they even surpassed DYDX, which is one of the very famous old perpetual trading decks. Right, with over 500 million traded volume every single day. Alright, and this, we know that based on this, the potential for them to distribute a large amount of airdrops is there. And we are talking about at least 10-20% minimum. Okay, and why can we derive the 10-20% is because we know there are no VCs involved, which means there is a lot of tokens that they can distribute to users, to real users. Alright, not to just people who fund the platform, because there is no one funding the platform right now. Alright, so we know the airdrop allocation is going to be generous, it's going to be large, it's going to be huge. Okay, so how to get airdrops for both platforms? Right, the most important airdrop criteria is to maximize the volume traded. Okay, so you want to get as much volume as possible. We are talking about 100,000 to 1 million traded volume. Alright, but we also talk about, not wash trading. So wash trading is like buying and selling immediately. Okay, I don't know if this strategy will work. I think I previously mentioned in my video, but I think this is a bit risky because we don't know whether they will check every single transaction. So if they suspect you of wash trading, you might not be eligible for the airdrops. So if you are doing this strategy, do it at your own risk. Okay, and of course, I recommend you to put in at least 10k volume for each platform every single week. But the ideal is to hit $100,000 in traded volume. If possible, 100k volume. Alright, because 10k volume is really insignificant. There is a lot of users in both of these platforms. So if you are doing 10k volume every week, you'll just be like any other average individual. Your airdrop allocation will be a lot lesser. And even if we talk about tiers, alright, they could do airdrops in tier form. If they don't use the point system, in calculation, if you only do 10k volume, again, your airdrop will be very pathetic. Alright, so 100k volume is ideal. Okay, so now we talk about the strategy involved. Alright, so the strategy is actually a lot easier than I thought to execute. And I'm going to show you how I execute them today. Alright, but I'll talk about it first. Okay, so the strategy here is very simple. Whatever that you long on AEVO or Hyperliquid, you will short on the other platform. Alright, long is basically buy. Okay, and you buy with leverage. Alright, to maximize the volume, you have to use leverage. Unless you have $100,000 at the side and you're going to buy 100,000 or sell $100,000 one shot, you have to use leverage. Alright, there is no other alternative to this. Okay, so let's say you long AEVO. Alright, the ideal leverage to use is 20x. Okay, and I will share why in a moment. So when you long ETH on AEVO at a price, let's say 2,300 ETH, you are hedging your risk by shorting ETH on Hyperliquid. Okay, because you short both at the same price. You long and short at the same price. If the price go up, alright, you lose money on one platform, but you win money on other platform. So you are breaking even. Okay, this break-even strategy allows you to generate volume without losing money. Alright, and this is very important. Okay, you have to set your stop loss and take profits, preferably at 2% to 3% range. Alright, so if 2,300, preferably around 2,323. Okay, for the take profit, stop loss could be 2,280, 2,277. Alright, minus 23 plus 23. Okay, that's for 1%. Alright, 2% could be $50 range. It's up to you how much you want to set the range. Alright, but I suggest not setting too tight because your trades will keep executing and you may seem as if you are wash trading. Alright, so at least, you know, let the transaction run for a couple of minutes to, I don't know, 10, 20, 30 minutes, hopefully before they hit the price target. Alright, that's a better strategy to use so you don't risk not getting any airdrop allocation. Okay, that's why I say 2%. Alright, 1% is also fine. If the market is not very volatile, 1% is totally fine. Okay, then for the cost, alright, so there's a cost involved that I mentioned earlier. Remember, I mentioned the cost 250. So how did I get the amount 250? Okay, I just take Hyperliquid and Aevo as an example. Alright, so actually for Aevo, I think it's slightly higher because Aevo fees is, alright, it's at 0.05 to 0.08%. So in fact, Aevo's fees are higher. Alright, it wouldn't be 250 here, it will be closer to 500. Okay, I will amend this as well. Alright, but I think Aevo allocation should be higher also. I could be wrong. Alright, but my guess is their allocation for airdrops will be higher if you start early. Alright, if you are late to the farming, then I think your airdrop allocations will be lesser. Okay, so of course the most important thing, you know, these are all the fees that you need to take note because these are going to be a cost that you're going to accrue from participating in this strategy. Alright, note that, you know, their fees are still a lot lower. Binance is at about 0.08%. Okay, so here is very important. Alright, to use this strategy, you have to monitor your positions. Okay, and I'll talk about later as well. Alright, so how to reduce the cost for this strategy? Alright, you can use my link or you can use someone else's link. Alright, because there's a rebate on Aevo, 10% rebate to reduce your cost significantly. Alright, and a 4% discount for Hyperliquid. Okay, so these are two ways to reduce your cost to participate in this wash trading. Alright, so now I'm going to talk about the most important thing that you guys want to know, which is what is my return if I participate in Hyperliquid and Aevo airdrop. Alright, so for Aevo, it's very hard to predict because they haven't announced their exact allocation for the airdrop yet. Okay, but we can use Hyperliquid as a benchmark. Alright, because both platforms are very similar. They are both perpetual trading platforms. They both do pretty decent volume. Alright, so I'll talk about Hyperliquid first because Hyperliquid is easier to analyze. Alright, and while talking about Hyperliquid, I will talk about Aevo's market capitalization as a comparison. Okay, so this is a table for the ideal scenario of the total amount of airdrop allocation. Alright, so over here it states fully diluted valuation, FDV. So FDV, if Hyperliquid FDV is at $1 billion and if they airdrop 10%, alright, that will be $100 million worth of airdrops. Alright, so that's how you see this table. Okay, and this is the worst case scenario, I think. Alright, which means the least amount of airdrops that you're going to get. If you are very unlucky, they are very stingy with the airdrops. Minimum, I think, is 100 million value. Okay, for all their users. Maximum, alright, which I think is very unlikely. Okay, I think their fully diluted valuation could go up to 5 billion. Okay, but for the airdrops to be 40%, very, very unlikely. Alright, so if we look at that, and we know that the total points they are distributed is 26, they are distributing is 26 million at 1 million points per week for 26 weeks, we can determine the value of every single point. And that's the most important thing that we want to know because we want to know how much points we can earn and how much are those points worth. Alright, and so I did all the calculation for you guys to see. Okay, on the worst case scenario, 1 point would be worth $4, which I think is very, very unlikely, like a 1% chance that this will happen. Okay, and the best case scenario is $77 per point. Alright, which again is also very unlikely. So we talk about the most likely scenario, which is in the center. Alright, they allocate 20% for early airdrop for the users within the first 6 months. Alright, and their fully diluted valuation is at 3 billion. So how did I land at 3 billion and why do I think they will be valued at 3 billion? Okay, I know you think it's pretty crazy, 3 billion is a lot. Right, don't forget that this exchange is doing 500 million trading volume every single day. Okay, and it's one of the largest decentralized exchange. In fact, I think it's the largest. Okay, I might be wrong. I don't know if there is any other larger exchange that do 500 million volume every single day that is decentralized. Okay, Binance is centralized, so Binance is excluded from this. Okay, and now we talk about Ribbon Finance, right? Aevo's market cap. So remember that Aevo's market cap is at $450 million. Okay, and we look at the volume they are doing. Alright, let's take Ethereum for example. They are doing 30 million Ethereum volume every single day. Okay, and that's a pretty decent sum already, alright, for an exchange. Okay, so based on that ratio, alright, 30 million volume, look at Hyperliquid's daily volume. Okay, Hyperliquid, look at this. 200 million in traded volume for Ethereum. Alright, almost 7 times more than the one that is traded on Aevo. You see the difference? Here is $200 million against $30 million. That's about a 7 times traded volume. Alright, so based on this ratio, I use that to determine, alright, Hyperliquid's fair valuation. Alright, 450 million times 7. Okay, and that values it close to $300 billion. Alright, 7, 14, 21, 28. So it's almost $300 billion valuation. Not 300 billion, I mean $3 billion valuation. Okay, so that's how I get this amount. Alright, so again, all my numbers are fair and they are justified. Alright, we go by a logical calculation to derive exactly how much each point is worth and how much profits you can potentially gain. Okay, so now we know the current estimate, 5,000 volume is about 1 point. And how did I derive this number? Okay, because I traded on Hyperliquid to test it out. Okay, and if you look under points, you can see that I earned 2 points for this week. Alright, and my traded volume so far, okay, if you look at my traded volume under my portfolio, okay, see my traded volume is at 13,000. Alright, and I get 2 points. Okay, but the problem with this point system right now is it doesn't show decimals. I don't know how much is it exactly. Is it 2.5, 2.3, 2.1? It doesn't show exactly how much the decimal. But I believe this is calculated in the system. Alright, it's just not shown here. Okay, so I estimate that around 5,000 volume is equals to 1 point. Alright, that's how I get this number, 5,000 volume traded equals to 1 point. Okay, so again, this is a very fair and justified way of doing my calculation. Right, to prove to you guys that I did calculate everything. Alright, these numbers I didn't pull it out from thin air. Okay, so now our target is to hit 1 million trading volume. Alright, within the next 2 months. Okay, and if we hit 1 million trading volume, the estimated points we'll receive is 200 points. Okay, how do I get 200? I take 1 million divided by 5,000. Alright, 200 points. And if we assume that, you know, the normal expected scenario is the airdrop 20% at a 3 billion market cap. Alright, each point is worth $23. So 200 points times $23. Alright, we get $4,615. Okay, and now we talk about the fees. Remember, I thought the fees is 0.025% if you are a taker. If you are a maker, you actually make profit. Alright, it's a negative 0.002%. And I will show you inside the trade. Alright, if you look at my trading book, okay, this is my trading book right now. If you look at my trade history, you notice that fees is positive, means I'm paying fees, right, to trade. But do you see there are fees, there are negative fees, which are rebates. Alright, so if you are a maker, you queue your orders here, you actually get rebates for trading. Okay, but our strategy might not involve this at all. It's up to you how you want to queue. Alright, it might or might not involve this strategy. Alright, but later I will show you how to do all of this. Alright, so let's go back to the analysis. Okay, let's just assume the worst case scenario, you are paying takers fee 0.025%. Alright, and remember that if you use my link, you still get a 4% discount. So your cost is even lower than that. Okay, so based on that, 0.025% times $1 million, the cost is $250 for your fees. And your potential profit is 4,365.38. Alright, how do I get the amount? I take 4,650 minus 250. Alright, that is 4,365. Okay, so what's your ROI return? Very simple to do this calculation. Okay, just take your profit divided by your cost. Alright, profit divided by cost equals to ROI. Okay, so your ROI is 17.46. So if you spend 250 on this platform, your return is 17 times. You're getting $4,000. Okay, again, all of this calculation is very transparent. Alright, you can see all of my calculation here. They are using formulas as well. Alright, I did not manually calculate all these numbers and I didn't pull it out of thin air. Alright, all I did is I just did a comparison with what is already on the market to see what is fair valuation. Alright, so these are very important assumptions that you need to take note of if you use this strategy. Alright, firstly, okay, now we are assuming that 5,000 volume will continue to equals to 1 point. Alright, but that is very hard to assume because down the road, maybe more people like you, if you are you know, watching this video and you think this is a good strategy, you want to put in some money to farm this airdrop, this volume is going to be diluted. Alright, this point is going to be diluted. Alright, maybe next time in the future, 10,000 volume could only be worth 1 point. Right, that's the worst case scenario that we don't want. Okay, but again, alright, I trust you guys, you know, I love you guys, and I know a lot of you guys would look at this video and not take any action because of two reasons. One, you are lazy. Two, you don't have money. Alright, if you don't have 250 on the side, you don't have $1,000, $2,000 on the side, you obviously cannot take advantage of this opportunity to make such amazing returns. Alright, I still think that most of you are probably lazy. You might be lazy, which you feel like, okay, you know, I still have to monitor my positions. Alright, so this is the thing that you have to do, because you have to monitor your positions closely, just in case that, you know, one platform execute a take profit, but the other platform did not execute a stop loss. Okay, this one you got to be very careful, right? Because this one could result in huge losses if you don't monitor your positions. So if you are not a risk taker, alright, the third thing is, if you're not a risk taker, then this strategy and this profit 17 times return is not for you. Okay, so I'm being very transparent right now. I don't think this strategy is for everyone. Okay, it's up to you how much risk you can take, how much funds you can put inside, how much fees you are willing to pay, and how much you are willing to put inside without needing the money, because we know that the airdrop for Hyperliquid is only coming in April. Okay, so now it's only February. Whatever money you're going to put inside, you're not going to have opportunities to use it elsewhere. Alright, so these are all the very transparent things that I'm bringing to you guys. Okay, if you guys like it so far, be sure to like and subscribe to my video. Okay, so now we talk about how to do all of the things that we just talked about. Okay, I want to show you guys how to do it exactly, so that you know I'm not like any other YouTuber or Twitter influencer telling you guys a bunch of bullshit without actually exercising the trades themselves. Okay, so what I usually do, right, to execute this trade, okay, is I will do a market order first. Okay, because a market order guarantees the execution of the trade immediately. Alright, if you do a limit order, you have to set the price. Let's say I have to set 2304.5. Alright, and you have to wait for this order to be done, which can be very risky, because the price can fluctuate while you are setting the price. Okay, so I would not recommend this, you know, you yourself setting limit order. Alright, set market order when you are performing transactions first. Okay, then you can perform a limit order, which I will show in a while. Okay, so now I'm going to do 2 market orders immediately on the spot. Okay, be sure to set your leverage to 20x. And why 20x? Because 20x is the maximum leverage you can set on Aevo. Alright, and to make it even for you and to make it easy for you to keep track on Hyperliquid, alright, I would suggest here you also put a 20x. Okay, on Hyperliquid you can go as high as 50. Alright, but we're not going to do 50 because it's very hard to keep track, alright, of your leverage on both platforms. So we are going to put 20 and 20. Okay, the next thing you want to do is you want to do a market execution. Make sure this is market. Alright, make sure this is market. Okay, and of course, one is buy, one platform you want to buy, and on the other platform you want to sell. Okay, this is very important. Alright, if you perform both buys, you will get wrecked. Okay, so one platform is buy, look carefully, is buy. This one, look carefully, the sell short. Okay, I'm going to do a market order. So market order, you don't have to set a price. You just need to set your order. How much is the size of this? Alright, so for this example, I'm going to put 0.5 Ethereum. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to place order. Alright, and 0.5 here. So I'm going to set, let me see if I can put 0.5. Oh, you can execute Ethereum. That's even better. So you see, there is an Ethereum order where you can execute by. So just click on this Ethereum. Execute Ethereum is better, okay, because it executes the exact amount that you want to purchase in ETH. So just select 0.5 here, alright, and select 0.5 here. Okay, and what I'm going to do here is I'm going to buy here and I'm going to short here. Okay, and I'm going to place both orders together. Okay, sell short, alright, market order, buy, market order, confirm 0.5 Ethereum. Alright, and I'm going to execute both trades right now. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to place order. Alright, I'm going to place order. And it executes immediately. Alright, so you can see under my positions, alright, I executed 0.5 short. Alright, shorting the price here 0.5, and over here I am longing at 0.5 Ethereum. Okay, so now is the very important step. Pay attention. Alright, so now you have to set your stop losses and your take profits. Alright, because you want both of them to be in place, so you don't have to keep track of your order every single second. Alright, so what you have to do here is very simple. Okay, so over here, alright, you can click on this thing to set your take profit and stop loss. Okay, so over here it states that take profit trigger when the price reaches a certain number, and stop loss trigger when the price reaches a certain number. Alright, so what is the take profit and stop loss? It's really up to you how much you want to set. Remember what we talked about earlier. Okay, let's say I want to set $30. Maybe $30 is a lot. Maybe I want to set $20. Okay, so right now we know that the price is at 2305.68. Okay, so we're going to set 2325 plus $20, right? 2325.68. Okay, because we know our entry price is this, so we add $20 to it, and we're going to minus $20 from it. So minus $20 is 2205.68. Okay, by doing this, alright, 2020 is easy to keep track. And I'm going to do this for by this transaction as well. Alright, so you can see, alright, take profit and stop loss over here, set plus minus. Alright, my entry price is 2305.88, so I'm going to put 2325.8 as a take profit. No, sorry. Okay, this is not take profit. Take profit is minus, alright, because this is a short position, so a lower price is correct. So for the short position, your take profit should always be a lower price. Alright, for this is a long position, your take profit is a higher price because you buy. Alright, you buy, you want to take profit at a higher price. If you sell, you want to take profit, you want to buy back at a lower price. So this amount should be $20 lower than 2305.8. Okay, so we're going to put it at 2285.8. Okay, minus $20, remember? And over here, we're going to set plus $20. Alright, that's 2325.8. Okay, and once we confirm this amount, you can see expected profit 10 USDC, expected loss minus 10 USDC. Look at over here. Alright, oh sorry, this number is wrong. Alright, this is not 2385. Okay, so if you see here, alright, make sure this one is correct. Expected estimated profit and loss $10, estimated profit and loss minus $10. Okay, so if let's confirm this first and I'll explain in a while. Okay, now we confirm both of these orders. Okay, now we just sit back and relax. Alright, doesn't matter how the trade goes, because if the trade triggers on this side, it triggers the take profit on this side, it will trigger a stop loss on this side. So if you make profit of $10 here, you will lose $10 here. So you are breaking even. Okay, that's the perfect strategy to do, which I'm executing right now to show you in live. Okay, how this thing works. Alright, but there is a risk involved. Okay, and the risk involved is this price difference. So you look over here, right? The price is trading at 2307.4, but it's trading at 2306.86. So what does this mean is that there is a slight deviation in the price action, and this means that on one platform, on this platform, it could trigger your stop loss or take profit without triggering the stop loss and take profit on this platform. Alright, that's what I mean by the risk involved. So that's why you have to track your price closely, because you are the nightmare scenario that could happen is one platform executes your order but the other platform does not execute your order, and you don't quickly close your position. Alright, this could result in significant losses. So this part, I hope you guys pay attention closely, right? Especially if you are watching till now. Alright, this is the most important thing you can do to mitigate risk, which is to monitor your position. Alright, and it's best not to perform a transaction when you are asleep. Alright, when you go to sleep, don't go and do this kind of thing because it can wreck you if you're unlucky. Alright, if you're awake, come in to check every half an hour, make sure that both orders are either here or both orders are not here. Okay? So that's all for this strategy. Alright, I know this video is a bit long, it's almost 30 minutes, but I wanted to cover every single aspect. Alright, for people who are genuinely interested in farming airdrops the professional way. Okay, because a lot of airdrops that I talk about, I know a lot of them are free. But if you want to make life-changing wealth through free airdrops, that's very, very difficult. Alright, maybe you could do it last year. Because remember last year, the bull market, most people didn't know it was a bull market yet. So most people didn't capitalize on the opportunity of using test nets to farm airdrops. Alright, but this year, if you're going to do test net tasks, you're going to complete all these airdrops, I don't think a lot of these test net airdrops will be worth a lot. Because test net airdrops are usually free to complete. And now we have so many people, so many hype around all of these projects. A lot of the tokens that they will be issuing will be diluted. Alright, your allocation of tokens will be diluted. It will not be worth as much as if you participated last year. Alright, so these kind of strategies that you use that can almost assure you that you will make a decent profit are the ones that you should be more focused on. Alright, and I will be doing this strategy to show you myself that I will make a 5-digit airdrop from both these projects, and I will show you guys. Okay, I'll update you guys when airdrops for both Aevo and Hyperliquid comes out. Alright, because I want to show you guys that this strategy that I talk about, I actually do and execute it. Alright, I'm going to show you how much I make from the airdrop itself. Okay, based on all my calculation. Alright, so that's all for this video, guys. I really appreciate you guys if you stayed on, alright, to watch this whole video for 30 minutes. And I hope you guys really learn a lot, alright, from the strategies involved. Okay, be sure to subscribe and be sure to follow me on X, and I will see you guys in the next video.